All right, so we are back live here today. Today we have our special guest True at True to the Movement. You can find him on Instagram. We're going over the social equity licenses here in Arizona. Um, we've been discussing the fact that most of this was fraudulent from the beginning. The fact that at this point now the state should be aware of this. So let's go ahead and bring back on True. And I hope you guys all enjoyed today's podcast. Um, True didn't have to do this. He could have remained silent on this. He could have been like, "Oh well, this is just another thing the American people have been dealing with. Like, there's no reason for you to get upset. Just allow people to keep on going to their dispensaries, not caring about what's happening. Let the industry turn the way that California has gone. And in my opinion, some of the folks brought their politics in from these other states because they had the money, right? Some of these umbrellas that were formed by people that basically got out of the California industry that's fallen apart. Some of them came in from Colorado. I have personally heard where certain investors have come from. The short time
Hmm.
I worked in the dispensaries, I did get to meet investors. So basically, when you get a job at a dispensary, at a grow, there could be a board of investors, correct? And so basically, that board of investors can get together and say, I don't like True. He's got a big mouth. Let's go ahead and find his DA card. Let's go ahead and shut him down. And then
Exactly. And that's what's really fucked up. That's what's really, really fucked up. So it's not the people who are fucking up doing bullshit in the cultivations that are getting fired. It's the people who are speaking up about the bullshit that's being allowed that are getting fired or
yeah,
quitting.
right,
And when
exactly.
you quit, they have the option to completely disable your DA card, which will make it a little rough for you to get another one to go to another facility. Because when you get these cards, they're literally linked to the facility that you originally started going from. So
Right.
say I was going to be a grower for, I'll name a dispensary I actually like. So say I was going to be a grower for Ponderosa Relief, Sonoran Roots branch. And I said something about how horrible one of the batches looked, and the investors were there one day,
Yep.
didn't know that I wasn't just talking shit, that I was giving constructive criticism. They didn't like what I had to say. They could literally hit up AZDHS and cancel my dispensary agent card.
Yeah.
Literally just, and I could go to work the next day. What up, Mason? And have no job, and they don't have to tell you anything.
No,
They don't have
not
to.
at all.
So the
I
biggest problem with the cultivations I think that we have here is the people who actually care and want to do quality over quantity are being pushed out and replaced with yes men, or people that just want to keep their job and don't care what they're doing. Like I've seen
right.
the quality of companies like Grow Science. I saw them go from the mecca of cannabis to shit. I could have got this at Curaleaf. Like,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, and it's sad, and it's sad and disheartening for someone who loves the Arizona cannabis community, because this community used to be so dope. Used to have such good medicine, and for the people who just won an award, and I could get one of their nugs, break it open, and it looks like it's moving inside.
Right.
How are they winning awards?
You know, again, I was just in a again, it's a festival as far as I'm concerned. I was involved with the competition,
That's why I
and
didn't go, bro. That's why I didn't go.
well, guess I had to do this. It was my first one. I had to be a part of it. But again, I didn't know that it was just a festival for the big guys. And I'm not knocking any of the big guys that were there. I'm simply saying that if you're going to hold a cup and you're going to invite growers, have these growers show up just like you would at Emerald Cup, anywhere else like that. You're going to invite them all in. You're going to sit there. You're going to call them up. You might have an announcer, and you're going to say congratulations and thank you to everyone else that was involved. You know, here's an attaboy. Here's a little ribbon. Here's a whatever, dude. Like a whatever out of, you know, and it was not that. It was all about the top um, um, industry providers that won, and they all are, you know, well known. They're all well known. Okay.
One of the companies that won multiple awards, I had a face-to-face with their Phoenix rep because a buddy of mine purchased some meds, then I went and purchased some meds from that company. They were absolute bullshit. Like, tastes like straight hemp, like straight CBD from a hemp plant type shit.
Right.
And these were $65 eighths. So I messaged the company on Instagram. Surprisingly, he messaged me right back. He was like, "Hey, what's up, man? Like, what can I do? What's going on?" I let him know what was going on. I was like, "Hey, why are you guys saying that this is 32% THC when it's? I'd be surprised if it was 4% THC. Like, this shit is." And he was like, "Oh yeah, that's not for people like you who smoke heavy. That's for like beginners and shit." I'm like, "No. Why does your bottle say one number when it's obviously not even close to that number?"
Yeah.
I didn't get a message back. I went to Trap Culture's event at Sunsplash, and he was there, and he saw me, and he was like, "Hey, True, it's me. I'm the one you were talking to from such and such company." I was like, "Oh, what's up, man? So are you gonna answer my question?" Okay, company was Aries. It's like, "All right, are you gonna answer my question?" I was like, "Why did you guys put this number on it, and it's obviously way under that?" He's like, "Oh man, it's the growers that we have now. We're cycling them out. So you probably got an old batch. Like, go to the dispensary, pick up a new batch, tell them how them hit me up, and it's all on me." I'm
Right.
like, "Why? Why would I do that?" Because I've done that before. I've done that with Mojave. I've done that with Copper State. I've done that with Sunday Goods, and continuously got horrible, dry ass. You pinch it, it just disappears.
Yeah.
Well, you know it's old material that they're trying to push out. They're
Exactly.
trying to, and this
And
guy's like, "Oh, it's gonna change. Everything's gonna change." They just won 3 awards, and their facility still has mics.
so that's like when my if my son leaves a mess, like he just leaves a mess and then walks away, and then I ask him, you know, clean this mess up, man, get it done, and he'll walk away and be like, no, it's good enough. And so that's like me going up and be like, you're right, good job, son, you did that you're right, it's good enough. And that's no different. Okay, that's where we're at with the industry here in Arizona. Okay, that's where we're at. I've met other podcasters. I've met other people in the industry. They all say the same thing. Okay, it's a mess right now, and part of the problem is that once, I'll say it like this: once law enforcement was notified, hey, you don't have to worry about cannabis anymore, hands off. It was like this vacuum, like all these people rolled in just like any neighborhood and be like, dude, this is my corner, and this is how it's going to be. And that's how this is set up, man. That they think that they can just come in and fake the license, get a license, and then be like, this is how it's going to be, bro. You're going to buy my shit, and this is how it's going to be. Would you say that's kind of how it's kind of
Yeah.
it's rolling, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's exactly how it is. And like, think about it. The part that makes me really, really mad is looking at that list again and seeing the people who won these licenses. Like, being a cannabis connoisseur, would you buy cannabis from a law group?
Yeah, again, we're going into the umbrella companies. Those of you who think that this is all legit, these LLCs, you just got to go and educate yourself in what an LLC is and what an umbrella, can do. And how this
Law
is
group
all.
isn't an LLC. Rose Law Group is not an LLC. It's a corporation.
Yeah, and exactly. And so that we'll go find, kind of start wrapping this up. If we know now that they're not, if they didn't even fit the criteria, man, they didn't even fit it. So how can these licenses be legit? I mean, are we reliving the election here? All this, what's legit and shit. But I mean, are these legit? And if so, then what does that mean for everyone else out there that's just the average everyday grower that's trying to get by here? You know?
Stop posting on Instagram. People are going to start getting raided. People are going to start going to jail again.
Mm-hmm.
Stop posting more than the legal limit on Instagram. Don't do what I do. Don't do what I do. Basically is what I'm saying. Like, keep your 12 plants.
Yeah.
If you want to post your 12 plants. Because when this is all said and done, if your cannabis did not come from a big corporation,
Yeah. Exactly.
you're going to still be arrested as if it was still illegal. If your cannabis wasn't taxed and the government didn't get their piece of the pie, you're still facing $500 to $10,000 in fines and 5 years in prison.
Yeah. And if it goes federal, if they pass it federal, then that's just a whole new group of criminals that are created.
That's worse. So if it's passed on the federal level, you have companies like Walmart, you have companies like Marlboro who's been preparing for this for over 15 years.
They knew it.
Marlboro came out and said, yeah, we knew what was going to happen. We've been prepping for this moment for over 15 years. Then you're going to have big pharma. So the government has had a program that's been providing cannabis to terminally ill people for since the 80s, I believe it was. And this isn't just like cannabis grown from a dispensary. This is grown in a facility, a testing facility. The only legal government approved cannabis testing facility. It's at a college. I forgot which one it is. But if they've had a patent on cannabis for so long, knowing that it helps, even after using the lowest grade cannabis, they still know that it helps with illnesses. Why did they take so long? Why did they arrest so many people for the shit? And then finally, when they start legalizing it, instead of giving those licenses to the people who have been affected by it, they've given those licenses to the people who prosecuted the people for smoking cannabis. Right. Like, you look at most of the dispensary owners, most of them have always been anti-cannabis.
Right.
But now if it goes federally legal, you're going to have all these big alcohol, big tobacco, big pharma companies producing cannabis. And if your shit doesn't come from, if what you're consuming doesn't come from one of them, you're still going to prison if you get caught. You know what I mean? So what's the point?
And up until today, as far as I know, a lot of these federal raids have stopped since the states have legalized, but that'll just start up again with the federalization, and so people really need to understand what's going on here with in Washington right now, and realize that don't just jump on the bandwagon like a lot of well-known people. I've been in contact on Instagram with some pretty big names that are out there promoting the federalization, or at least the way it stands. It's not what we want, guys. Okay, it's gonna set up a whole new system of red tape bureaucracy that's gonna wrap you and your kids up into when you get caught not paying a federal tax on your plant.
You're gonna have cannabis police. That's what this is going to bring. You're going to have cannabis police, the canna cops. That's what this is going to bring. The canna tax man to the average person's door. and the county cops to everybody's door that's not a big name. So
And
if
they're
you're
not,
not paying millions in tax money to run your operation, guess what? You're still going to fucking prison. So just because it's
right.
federally legal, you don't follow every single rule to the T, which is funny because none of these companies do, yet they get away with it every day. But if the average Joe breaks the rules, like say if they came into my old grow op and I didn't have a active caregiver card, I would have went to prison.
Yeah, exactly.
Yet
Exactly. So,
you can't have a dispensary or you can't grow within 25 miles of a school. Yet in my old neighborhood, there's 8 dispensaries within fucking 6 miles of a school.
oh, it's
School.
absurd up here where I live, man. It's absurd. You know, you know, and
It's
some of
crazy.
these, yeah, you know, some of these companies, they were so private, they didn't even like they just put down, you know, letters and numbers as as their names. They were so private,
So
they didn't want anyone to know, man.
that's how I found them. Was because they just put those letters and numbers. MCCSD8E. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah,
sounds questionable. Like, over
exactly.
58% of the licenses were given to known entities. Another 19% were given to questionable entities.
Yeah, exactly.
Another another small percentage was given to cookies.
That's really the most mind-boggling one. Truly is, you know. And I'm just going over this list again, you know. And like you're saying, you know, Woodstock won and it wasn't about the names that people started, you know, noticing. It was these weird numbers and these weird LLCs that were popping up. People just realized, hey, man, this is all bogus from the top all the way down because whoever is calling the shots down there in Phoenix is got to be like he or she's got to know that
It's a
these
he,
are he does
and he knows.
he's got to know. Okay, how is he
He knows.
connected to the cannabis industry? That's what I want to know. Is he on the board of one of these LLCs? Like, this is some dirty shit. Okay, and like you said, I'm gonna start minding my P's and Q's. I'm gonna really, because as far as I know, they're just gonna shut me down. At this point, I'm just gonna continue on as a small farm. Okay, I'm a small farmer, guys. All right.
So look, this is what people fail to understand. This this is what people fail to understand. That if anytime we already got people hacking into Instagram, Facebook, and taking people's personal information. It takes the U.S. government literally 2 clicks to see who's posting what and who's doing what on Instagram. They send Mark Zuckerberg a fucking a blanket warrant like,
Yeah.
hey, I need to see anything based on cannabis or anything like that. Whoever's been posting this, and this. It takes them seconds to get that information. So we willingly incriminate ourselves every single day.
Yeah.
Now you have people like me who I don't give a fuck. Like I don't care. Like it's cannabis. I'm gonna do what the fuck I'm gonna do, period. But then you have other people who have like a lot more than I do to lose. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're just going nonchalantly posting stuff because they think theirs is legal.
Right.
So
Yeah.
technically,
Yeah.
in the state of Arizona, if you're growing outdoors, it's illegal.
Right.
If you have only one person and you're growing more than 6 plants, it's illegal. If you have
Right.
two, if you have if you have two people and you're growing more than 12 plants, it's illegal.
It's illegal. It's
You
illegal.
know what I mean? So
Yep. Yep.
people
Yep.
didn't read the proposition. They still think it's legal to light a joint and walk down the street. It's illegal to sit in your car at your house and smoke.
Yes. And again, this was all written by the guys that we're speaking of today. They were all involved with this. It it wasn't um Congress people that got together. It wasn't some legitimate group of cannabis advocates that got together. This was really a group of individuals that were already set up in the industry. All they had to do was get this out to us, and we would have signed off on it, right? You know. So it's really bad. It's really sick that Arizona has come this and within 1 year of being legal, we're already seeing this kind of thing.
In 1
Right.
year of being legal, already having 3 recalls.
Right.
3 recalls within 1 year.
Right. You know. So as far as the future goes, what kind of plans are you thinking of? What do you got going on for the future, you think?
So if I'm still gonna try to get into because I think what it's gonna take for the dispensary industry to change is someone like me getting into it and showing the patients how it should be done, the quality of meds that you should be getting, the price you should be paying, because there's no way in the world anyone should be paying $85 for an eighth of flour. I don't give a fuck how fancy or cute your packaging is. No one should be paying $85 for some fucking flour. So I'm still gonna try to gather like-minded people, hit fucking City Hall, try to get some shit changed, because if we don't do it, it's gonna be the same shit over and over and over again. Like, you have companies like Safer Arizona out here really trying to change shit, but they can't do it by themselves. And I can't do it by myself. You need a large group of people demanding change. And without people demanding change, change won't come. And even if you do demand change, but you don't stand on that, if you falter and you waver, then still shit's not going to change. That's why this happened, because we got comfortable. Like, oh, okay, it's recreational. At least we have that. We got comfortable with settling for bullshit because we were so used to getting fucked over. So now we just settled for anything that we could get. And now look at it. Now people are starting to complain. Why didn't you read it and complain in the beginning? I voted no on Prop 207. I'm not scared to say that. I voted no because I actually read the proposition.
Right.
I don't sign anything without knowing what I'm signing. I stopped that after the Marine Corps. So I signed that contract and didn't know what the fuck I was signing. Never signed another one without knowing what I was actually signing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you can ask a lot of people who've had my cannabis, who've tried my strains. I'm shitting on dispensaries. And that's not me patting myself on the back. That's the cold, honest, brutal truth.
Yeah.
I'm shitting on dispensaries. You got people like DZ's Exotics, Big Chino Cannabis, the Pot Buddha, Pheno Ridge, Ganja Mom. Like, you got all these talented growers, Georgia Zona, Izzy Grows, like all these people who are putting out quality meds have to worry about being in trouble because they care about what they do, while these people in licensed facilities are pouring poison into their plants and selling it to people, and they're going unscathed.
And then sending us, little reminders through Instagram. Hey, go get your shit tested. You don't want, your privately grown, poison out there in the public, right?
Meanwhile, in the big facility, you got, so I'm gonna tell you the nastiest shit I've had. Molded food in my weed. Pubic hairs in my concentrates.
Yeah.
Dog and animal hairs. I'm highly allergic to cats. I should not crack open a sealed, vacuum sealed, and pressed bag of flour and be able to pull out damn near a handful of cat hair.
Yeah. That's at a grow where the owner thought it was cool to have a cat to take care of the mice because you're leaving a bunch of shit out that attract the mice, right? Yeah, you know,
Yeah, there's been so many people, so many good people who lost their jobs for speaking out about dirty facilities, all the way down from security guards, all the way up to head cultivators, losing their jobs because they care about what they do, because they care about the people who are consuming their medicine. I wouldn't put anything out if I wouldn't smoke it myself.
exactly, exactly,
And most of these owners don't even smoke cannabis.
exactly.
They
You know,
don't care about what they're putting out. They
yeah,
care about the money that they're putting in their pockets. I worked at a
yeah,
place that was making $1 billion a day. Come on, running with recreation, fucking making making money medical because they're shit. But the moment it went recreational, they're balling. They just got bought out now by the
yeah.
company buying everybody out. Two companies that sound pretty similar. Zenleaf, Curaleaf. Zenleaf, Curaleaf.
Yin and yang. Yeah, yeah. Now that people are becoming aware of this, hopefully it really actually wakes people up. It actually, hopefully, will make you think about who you're supporting as far as your dispensaries go, or your actual local growers, your local medical cannabis providers. These are the folks that maybe you should actually start getting to know. Um, I I can tell you right now, I've got haters and people that think I'm nuts because I'm not walking the same line as all the dispensaries, and they're like, who is this fucking guy, dude? Well, I'm just here to tell you that I've been serious about this for 4 years, and when I bring on guests like True, it's because I've noticed that they actually have a passion and a care for the industry. They're not afraid to go out. You like I said, you see the guy, he's smoking right now. You see him doing nose dabs. He's not afraid to show you what he's passionate about. He'll share his private life with you. All right. Are these the type of people that you actually want to associate and do business with? Or do you want to go down to the dirty dispensary that's going to charge you $85 for some garbage that's going to change your head for maybe an hour, and you're going to feel like shit the next couple hours? Maybe you might give you a headache, a stomach ache, which is one of the reasons that I don't consume a lot of products from dispensaries, because it instantly messes with me. Okay, I know that it's not safe to consume, right?
Full of PGRs. Full of PGRs. Just full of shit. And then when you go the concentrate route, it's always CRCBHO.
Yeah, what is that? What is that?
That's they rewash the bullshit and then they make it pretty looking and repackage it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like so, like my question is for, and this isn't for the dispensaries or the big kind of people. This is for the average Joes. How long are you going to put up with it? Are you going to continue to allow or continue to pay high end prices for bottom tier product? What's that cannabis sickness that all of a sudden showed up when dispensaries started popping up? Like
yeah, yeah.
for millions and millions of years, no one ever got sick off of cannabis, but all of a sudden we got this corporate cannabis, and now people are getting sick.
Yeah, yeah. And they're the ones that are worried about, the small guy. What's the small guy doing? Don't look at me. What's the small guy doing? Right?
Yeah, Gandhi farmer. That's all it is. It's they change it to make it look pretty, and they put it back in the package. That's all it is. I mean, it's
Right?
disgusting. They have shit labeled live rosin, live resin, live rosin butter, live rosin batter, and they use all these terms because people don't know what the fuck they are.
Yeah. Just another pretty term to slap it on.
And then they put 210% terpenes,
Yeah,
like 210% cannabinoids with
yeah,
60% terpenes.
right,
How? Where
right,
the fuck does that mean that up?
right. You know?
Like, so that's the thing. People are uneducated, so these companies are able to do this shit over and over and over and over again, making millions and millions off of the back of the sick and the uneducated,
Yeah.
because there's no one out there really trying to educate people. And the people that are trying to educate you end up getting shut down.
Right. Yeah,
Like
exactly.
that's the sad thing about the industry. Like
Yeah.
me personally, I've had products stolen by dispensaries and by cannabis companies,
Yeah.
but I still was able to sell mine on my own because mine were 10 times better than theirs. Because I'm not putting out booth, I'm
Hmm.
putting out gas.
Yeah.
And you get good material in from concentrates. You get good material out. You put bullshit in, you CRC it, you get pretty bullshit.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you went to one of the dispensaries, got some shit, smelled it. It smelled so fucking amazing. You dab that shit, and it tastes like
Yeah.
straight fucking poop soup. Like it
Yeah.
don't taste right. It's like fish oil. It has
Disappointing.
no taste. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's sad because what they do is they buy Amazon terps and put it inside their shit. After they
Yeah.
CRC it, they fix that color. It's no longer brown or green. Now it's gold or white.
Right. Yeah. And I see a lot of stuff just briefly that people will flash on their Instagram videos, and some of it I just am like, dude, that's kind of scary just looking at it. I don't even know why you would even push that out as a product, a safe product to use. And as a farmer, I grow produce, everything. I grow my cannabis exactly the way my produce that I eat. And so I would never put anything that would harm me personally or anybody else in it, and that goes for food. So I don't understand how they think that they would want to do that. So, but really, this has today's podcast. Really, we wanted to get into the licenses, the fact that there's a lot of monkey business going on, and the fact that this recent announcement that these 26 licenses, all of which were actually issued, some of which were legitimate, which we know, and we're not here talking smack in any way about the folks that were legitimate. You went through the process. You proved that you had a conviction. You proved that you lived inside the zip codes that were required, right? You'd actually proved that you had a facility that you were either going to have or it would be ready at the time, right? You went through all these necessary steps, but yet the dispensaries skipped all those steps. They didn't have to go through, and I'm not saying just dispensary. All of these organizations, LLCs, monkeys, whatever the fuck they are, um, they did not go through those steps. Okay, they submitted an application, fraudulently said that they met the criteria, they submitted it, they paid the money, which they probably have so much they don't even know how to spend it all. They went through that quick little process, totally going outside the normal process. Then the guy down in Phoenix signs off on this, knowing, like, how could he not know that he was issuing licenses to fraudulent LLCs, and I wouldn't even call them individuals because we don't know what's going on here, right? Okay.
Entity. Call
Entities,
them entity.
entities, they're entities, and for all we know, these entities are convicted criminals that still have records that cannot be expunged. For all we know, these are companies in Beijing. We don't know who these people are. They could be cartels. We don't know who these people are, but yet they have licenses as of today that they can operate right now in Arizona, correct?
Yep, they won licenses meant for people who have been who have lived in over-policed areas, the certain zip codes that were provided, who
Right.
make under a certain amount of money a year,
Yeah.
and
So
have cannabis. So I know there are a lot of people out who have cannabis crimes, but can't get records expunged because of the amount of cannabis they had, or the federal trafficking, or some
trafficking.
shit. Part of the requirements was that charge has to be expungible. So there were some people who never had been charged at all that applied, and there are some people who had convictions that cannot be overturned who applied. And then you have most of these, what dispensaries did, where they went and got people who did qualify. They found people who did qualify, sold them hopes and dreams, and then put the license under their name.
Right. Yeah.
That's why you have the
What's
Mojave with 5.
right?
Yeah, 26 instant millionaires. Correct. Like, no, 25 already millionaires. One person whose hopes and dreams might be shattered because they don't have the collateral to get a building, to get it up and ready to be inspected, to even start a harvest.
Right.
Like, come on.
Do
It's
you
it's
think?
sad.
Do you think we can count on some of the organizations? I'm not going to name names because I'm actually, part of them because I thought, why not? I was getting into the industry. I thought this was beneficial. Do you think that some of these organizations would come to your aid to help you get through all of the, say, financial or anything else that you would need to get up and running right now today?
In Arizona,
Yeah,
honestly,
Arizona, some type of a local Arizona, well-known organization that's promoting this
me them,
social equity program. Do you think they would come to your aid?
those are the people who sold the fucking people's information to the dispensaries. So I don't think they're gonna do shit. I don't think they're gonna help. No, I don't.
Okay, so you don't think you're going to get any help at this point? You just got to go on you're on your own. You do have a license, correct? You're kind of broken up, so
I do have a license.
okay, good. So, and again, when I first met True, through Instagram, I haven't personally met the guy yet. So just so you know, I met him through Instagram. As soon as I heard that he went through all the steps, he got he's there. I sent him something because I just felt like, dude, this guy actually did it. Like he actually went through it and actually accomplished something that most people cannot or will not or not get to do in the state of Arizona. I was very impressed. It just added to his Instagram presence. The guy actually went through all the steps that we've talked about tonight. He got his license, and we've already discussed all the different nonsense that's been going on. So, you just in closing, man, I just want to kind of, what do you think what do you think could happen? What do you think, anything could be changed in the future for the licenses? And do you think that, this future program will actually change after people like us that are kind of making a point? Or are we just lost, dude? Is it done? Like, it's already done.
Continue to go on the same path that we are on. People voting ignorantly, knowing what they're voting on, and it's just gonna go. It's gonna. It's not gonna get better. It's gonna get worse. So until people start speaking up about the bullshit that's going on, until more people start going to these hearings and going to these meetings, nothing's going to change. It's going to be the same shit year after year after year. They said shit was going to change 10 years ago. The only thing that changed is they gave more bullshit dispensaries more licenses. That's the only thing that changed. So they gave them more room to produce more booth. So now Arizona is going to be known for booth. It's the home of booth.
Yeah,
Like
the home
I
of
hope, I sincerely hope people get up, speak up, and actually don't just be on Instagram talking about the shit, actually speak up about it, then she'll change. But until then, and with the people, the normal people who got the license, congratulations to you. I hope you're able to find that capital and stay afloat, because if you don't have that capital, you just wasted time, money,
Right.
effort, hopes, and dreams on a dream that Arizona sold that was bullshit.
Right.
Not one license would have been handed to a dispensary, an already operational dispensary. Not one. There's
Not
not one
one.
of them. Not one
Why?
qualified. For so many to have gotten a license, I didn't get a social equity license in house. No, not a social equity license. I know people who did, but under my name, we did not. I did not get it. I have multiple other licenses that allow me to grow more than the average person, just as Big Chino does. But if you want a license in the state of Arizona now, after this social equity bullshit just went down, there's only one way to get it. And if you're a normal Joe, it's not possible. You can only rent a license from someone else who's willing to rent out their cultivation license. And that still doesn't give you a license to own a brick and mortar actual storefront. That only gives you a license to grow. So you would still have to find a place to sell that would sell your meds. So it's kind of lost, man. It's kind of lost for the people like us who wanted to get in the industry to make a change. Unless all of us get up and speak out, none of us are going to be there.
Do you think it would it help to actually contact, the gentleman down there in Phoenix? Because at this point, they've already, like, they're not going to issue any more licenses that we're aware of at this time. They're not
No,
going to.
Arizona now you cannot own your own license now. You can only lease a license.
And there's no, they're not going to just simply pull these licenses, be like, this is fraudulent. We're beyond that. So we are where we are. There's now 200 license holders, most of which are fraudulent, some of which, like True, they're very legitimate. I would suggest in the future finding True to the movement. Tell us where can they find you anywhere else? You got anything else going on?
You can find me just out and about here in the greater Phoenix area.
Yeah.
Always at different events. We're going to have an event on 420 at Cali Kush Smoke Shop.
Okay.
Another event with Arizona Chiefers at Easy Bati.
Okay.
We're all around the state of Arizona. You won't find us in any big name dispensaries anytime soon. That's because even if I could get my meds in there, I don't think I would want to at this point. Because it'd just be supporting a corporate state, corrupt state, a corrupt corporation.
Right.
And it's sad to say because I was so in love with the Arizona cannabis industry, being a native of Arizona. Like I was so excited for something to change.
Yeah.
I was so excited when they announced this.
Yeah.
And then buddies were like, "Bro, you really think it's gonna change? Look at this." And my buddy Tree sent me the initial list that showed what all those letters were. It showed which dispensary those belonged to. So that's how I knew how many applications Mojave put in: Sunday Goods, Copper State, The Giving Tree, Mint, all that shit. Because one, they were posting signs, "Come in, we'll help you expunge your record." Why would a dispensary that's been promoting it's against home growers help anyone expunge their record to get a dispensary license?
Right.
One, they knew they could use that person's name to put in another application for themselves. So how many of these people that these dispensaries got applications under, how many do you think are actually going to be in charge of that dispensary? The way the meds are grown, the way they're sold, the way they're packaged, any of that?
Yeah.
No. How it's going to be is they're going to give you a big lump sum up front, tell you to shut the fuck up, sit back until your next payment's ready.
Right.
That dispensary is not going to be named after you. It's going to be named, as you saw, Mojave Cannabis, Copper State, Sunday Goods, Cookies. Those are going to be the names of those dispensaries. Not what you were hoping or what they promised you.
Yeah. My hopes of giving, I've already given up on, like, as far as trying to get into dispensaries in any level. I'm actually very happy with providing to the people that I provide to. But like I said, you know, in a message to you, if this is how they're going to play ball, then why shouldn't I play ball the same way they are? If
Yeah.
they're gonna if they're gonna just come out and say, "Hey, I'm an LLC," then Big Chino Growers is a legitimate LLC. I'm a legitimate farmer. I'm a legitimate grower. I've been doing this. I've been a licensed hemp grower in the state of Arizona. What's the difference? Okay, what is the difference? I will claim my income and pay my taxes. What is the
That's fine, but
difference?
if you didn't pay that fee. You didn't pay that government fee to
I'll
get that license.
I'll
Yes,
pay
you're willing to pay it. You're willing
again.
to pay, but you
Again,
didn't go through that process
yeah,
so that they could tag you and follow you and see exactly what the hell you're doing. Make sure you're going off of their book,
yeah,
because
you know,
you're going to go off of your book, grow
yeah.
how you want to grow, do what you want to do,
So
because it's all you. But when you're going with the government, you got to go by their book, how they want the shit to be done.
yeah,
And if you're not doing that, then you're just another target.
yeah. So
That's
so
it. What?
this is how I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna start growing in 1,000-gallon pots. I'm gonna grow fucking trees. I'm gonna grow the 12 of the biggest trees that you've ever seen, and I'm gonna prove to the industry that we don't need you. That when they decriminalized cannabis in the state of Arizona, you regained your rights as an American citizen to own, to cultivate, and to process those plants. Now, regardless if it's 12 or whatever, they gave us this number. Regardless, you got your rights back. You now have the right to grow cannabis, and they do not want you to know that. They want you to believe that you have to go to them and purchase their cannabis that they're growing, that they fraudulently got a license to grow. And there's nothing that you can do about it because they believe you do not know your rights in the state of Arizona. They do.
Yeah, and the more fucked up part is, so technically, you can have as many plants as you want in the veg, because how it says is, you can't test it for above the 0.03 THC.
Right.
You can only have 12 plants with 2 or more adults in the home testing
Yeah.
over that amount of THC.
Yeah. Right.
So if you're selling veg, then you're not going to test over that for THC.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's in flower. So in flower, when they can actually test your THC percentage, you can't have over 12. So
Exactly.
if you keep
Exactly.
12 in flower and fucking 300 in veg and just fucking piece them
Yeah.
out at the
Yeah.
time, you're
You
good to
better.
an extent, because you still can't have over a certain amount. So you can do 12 plants for 2 adults, but a medical card only allots you 2.5 ounces. How does that work?
Yeah. They're smart when they figured this out. As far as mine go, the plants that I've shown, 12 of them are already gone. So what I'm trying to get at is that people are not educated on on legalization. It's time to get educated. Big Chino growers and To the Movement is here to try to educate folks because we're passionate about it. We're not we don't have anybody financing us. We don't have anybody like supporting us. You know, I don't get any kind of a paycheck or anything. All of my art, all of my time is donated. Obviously, if you go to, you know, True's Instagram, it's obvious that, you know, he's passionate about the cannabis plant. He knows its medical benefits. He knows that the Mickey Mouse stuff in Arizona. You know, we gotta get outside that, man. We gotta try to get in our own side little culture here thing going where we're not dependent on whatever they've already given us. And this is a lot has happened in the past year, like literally a lot has happened in the past year. So in closing, we can find you on Instagram. In your future, you really want to get, you know, either a dispensary, but more precisely, medical dispensary, right? You want to do
Yeah,
something, you know, a little bit different down in the valley, right? That's your
I
thing.
want to do, I want to do what True Med originally did. What True Med originally did, that small craft cannabis. Open up a small craft cannabis micro grow or micro license, however they want to call it. Something with a certain amount of plants that I can grow to the fullest extent of their full potential. That's what I want to do. I want to bring back the cannabis pride to Arizona.
Oh yeah, your face isn't shown right now, just so you're aware. If you wanted to tilt it up a bit, I should have told you that earlier. I'm sorry. I don't know what your camera's capturing, so
Yeah,
pan, you're good. Yeah, I can kind of see. So yeah, go. Sorry to
I
interrupt. Go
want
ahead.
I want real cannabis back in Arizona. Whether it's me that brings it or someone else that brings it, but I know these dispensaries aren't going to bring it. I know these dispensaries aren't going to bring back quality, affordable medicine. They're going to keep pushing out clout chasing booth. Because if you notice, these companies that are doing amazing have dope ass packaging, pretty weed, but horrible quality. What I want to do is bring the whole package, get a group of growers, like-minded growers, like the Pot Buddha, Georgie Zona, you, DZ, and create a co-op of dedicated growers that can legally put out quality medication.
Right, right.
That's the goal.
Hey, I would be.
Whether that whether that happens,
Mhm.
well, it's going to happen one way or the other. Like either way it goes, that it's going to happen. So whether I have to do it, continue to do it how I do it now, or whether I can get or lease or buy another license allowing me to open up a brick and mortar storefront.
Right. Okay.
Because without people who actually care about what you're consuming, we're
Hmm.
just going to have the same bullshit, the same rotation. So basically, anything you take from me today, take this. If you choose or have no other option but to shop at a dispensary, ask questions. Don't fall for any answer they give you. And if you want change, you got to stand up and actually fight for it. Nothing's going to change in Arizona if nobody gets up and demands change. People could have been at the hearings. People could have been doing a lot of shit. Like, the only good thing about Prop 207 was the fact that it gave us normal people a chance to grow at home, a chance to see what quality meds and what cannabis should be like. That's the only good thing from 207. I was hoping the 26 equity licenses would have been the other good thing, but being from Arizona and knowing the history of Arizona, I kind of figured that it was going to go the big money route, because that's basically what it is. If you already have money and you're willing to pay the state of Arizona money to overlook shit, then you're going to get away with a bunch of shit. There's a bunch of companies operating here that should have been shut down years ago. and owners should have been arrested. Like, a lot of shit going on in cultivations is criminal, disgusting. A dispensary is supposed to be medical grade. When you walk in a dispensary, it's supposed to be clean as a hospital. The cultivation should be cleaner than a hospital. You should have all these clean rooms. There's no way I should be able to go into cultivation, see a cat running around. There's no way I should go into a cultivation and seeing people eating by the plants. Like, there's a lot of shit going on in Arizona that you shouldn't be able to see at a facility. When I smoke my cannabis, I don't want to have my throat burning. I don't want to feel like I'm itching. I don't want to get a headache. I don't want to feel paranoid. I want to smoke good, natural tasting cannabis that doesn't taste like sulfur or fish shit or dirt.
Yeah, because they're not flushing. If they're growing in dirt and or any medium they're growing in, they're pumping it out because again they're pumping it out. They got to pump it out.
They don't. So look, when you take a specimen for testing, you're taking like an eighth at the most to get tested. And if it's a cultivation, a big scale cultivation, an eighth is microscopic. So they can take that eighth from the best, healthiest looking part of the plant, have that tested, and assume that everything else is good. No.
Okay.
AZDHS and the testing facilities need to come up with a way to test the majority of that product. Because if a majority of that product isn't tested, you still don't know what you're getting.
Right.
That top cola THC percentage is going to be different from that bottom cola's THC percentage. You can have bud rot on the top of a main cola, and not have any rot on bottom colas anywhere else. So they can take those tests from those bottom perfect nugs, have those tested, and still be pushing out bullshit to the patients.
Yeah.
You have random testing. You shouldn't know when you're being tested. There should be random inspections. You shouldn't know when your facility is about to get inspected.
No
Because
different.
if you know, you can prepare for shit that should have already been done.
No different than a health department inspection at a restaurant or a grocery store.
Exactly. So why are these dispensaries getting this pass? It's the same thing. You're consuming this. You're either eating it or you're inhaling it. It's the same thing. Why are these restaurants, these mom and pop restaurants, getting put through such strenuous inspections, yet these big company dispensaries are not?
Yeah. So, and again, we are where we are at this point, I think.
Imagine if those 26 licenses actually went to 26 random Joes, average Joes. And imagine the AZDHS took that money from the people who did not win and used that to put it back to help those people who did win. So in a perfect world, that money would go back to help those people who were unfairly harassed and shit like that by police and had cannabis crimes that were given this chance to open a facility. That money could have went back to help them build and be successful. Because then what's going to happen? That money then is going to come back to Arizona. Not just in the form of taxes, but in the form of donations, charity, and just random people wanting to give back to the community that they're a part of. You think these big dispensaries want to do it? Most of their shit is a tax write-off. They don't care. So Arizona stole and cheated Arizonans out of quality medicine and people who care by giving it to these people who already showed that they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, so, well, again, we're down to our last few minutes here. I got to roll. Thank you so much for being on this podcast. And I hope everything in the future works out for you. Continue to follow, true to the movement. Make sure you're keeping up with him. He's always, posting just like us. So again, Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we hope that you guys continue to hit that follow button. Thank you guys.